Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. Welcome to another edition of Talk of the Tiger. I am Paul Brown, dressed in a festive holiday sweater. He is rock star Jim Peterik, dressed in a festive holiday jacket.
It's very festive. I love this jacket, and I have the pants too, but you can't see those. Nor am I wearing any pants, but
And this is why we're sitting.
I don't have to. No, but seriously, thank you for having me. And this is a great time of year, and I'm full of a lot of things, but I'm full of Christmas spirit. And the gifts are all bought and tucked under the tree. We got a big celebration on the 22nd at the house here, and Karen's all like cooking and stuffing, and it's fun.
Yeah, great. It's that time.
It is.
So before we're gonna talk about a recent Christmas show, the big extravaganza. We've got a couple of cruises coming up. We've got a new album that's in the works, and we've got a special festival that involves Pride Alliance. So we got a lot of things to talk about. Before we get into that, everybody watching this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit like and ring that little bell thing so when we put another one out, you get notified. And
Yeah.
also, it helps if you share and tell your friends and comment on here. It's all part of playing the algorithm game. So,
Well, it's growing, and I'm so stoked that
yeah,
this, the legions are growing. So that's so,
exactly.
yeah.
All right. So the first thing is we just got done with the annual Ides of March Christmas extravaganza, this year featuring, again, Toby Hitchcock as a special guest. Talk about that show.
Well, I've said it before, but it's my favorite Ides show of the year. Because we're Christmas is such a great uh, date to celebrate, and everybody comes in great moods. Of course, they always come in great moods, but Toby, adds his super operatic rock voice and just brings the house down in the middle of the first set. The whole first set is all Christmas material, most of which is I've either written or co-written, like Sharing Christmas, which I'm going to play for all use at the end of this podcast. That's become kind of a standard, at least in the Midwest. And Scotty May and I wrote that 15 years ago, and it just builds every year. And it was a full house at the Arcada, and I tell you, Toby brings down the house every time. So it was really fun.
And yeah, I've been to a couple of them. I couldn't make this one because I had a Christmas concert of my own to produce. But it's always a great time. It's a feeling of family. Uh, Toby just nails it, and of course, you guys play "Sharing Christmas," which has become one of my all-time favorite Christmas songs. So,
Yeah, the audience agrees. And Mary, did you know, is a new song that not new, but new for Toby that, we have Tommy Learsham is our Paul Schaefer. He
right.
plays all the piano parts that are too complex for me. And Mary, did you know? I mean, I love that song so much. So that was a big highlight for me. I just stood in the wings and watched. That's the
Yeah,
best seat in the house.
yeah. Tommy's a good guy.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to look at the upcoming year. We're going to start it off with some great music. Two nights in a row, we've got Jim Peterik and Friends, which is generally you and the Jive Five. And also, we're going to have Colin and Leslie Hunt join, and anybody else might want to wander by. It's January 15th and 16th, two nights in a row at Hey Nani in Arlington Heights. So if you want to get tickets to see a couple of nights of awesome music in a nice, intimate, friendly little venue, go to the websites, either of the websites or the Facebook pages. We've got the links up there so you can get your tickets for that. So, and then on with the year. So, rock cruises have become a huge thing, whatever era the musicians are from. And you guys have become, one of the in-demand artists for these. In fact, you've got two of them coming up. Okay, so the first one is in January. It's called Concerts at Sea. And then the next one is in March, and that's the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. And in addition to Chicago's own Ides of March, I mean, it's got musicians like the guys from Air Supply and Kansas, John Lodge from the Moody Blues, Jefferson Starship with our own Kathy Richardson, Danny Serafin, the former member of Chicago, Mark Farner, our world stage pal, Al Stewart, Atlanta Rhythm Section, the Babies. I mean, it's
Well,
wow. I mean, it's like a constant flow of top level music.
and what's fun about that is a lot of times we'll get together for an impromptu jam session. Uh, and that is something that I remember me and Mark Farner just tearing it up off the records, with people going, "Oh my God, they're doing that." So stuff happens.
Yeah, I mean, in addition to the stage shows, you're right. There's these little things that happen off in lounges and stuff off to the side. So, generally don't plan on sleeping.
No,
I mean, if you want to see everybody, honestly, don't plan on sleeping. So,
I hear you.
it's pretty cool, and there's plenty of chances to meet and greet, to meet these musicians and talk to your heroes.
I
And
tell you, elevators are the meeting place. I'm going up, I'm coming down. That's where everybody goes. Hey, you're Chip Peterik. Elevators.
yeah, it's it's a pretty special thing because I mean you're on a ship with these people for whatever it is for 4 or 5 days, and there is a chance to meet them, you know, just as people,
Right.
which is cool because a lot of them, like you guys, are just normal people.
Well, almost normal.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Semi-abnormal. But one anecdote is I remember I went down to the lounge, excuse me, and sitting at a table, and I realized Peter Asher is right there. Peter and Gordon, he
yeah.
produced Linda Ronstadt and everybody. Uh, and we started talking and didn't think much of it. And that night at about 6 o'clock, he invited me to be a part of the jam session at the end. And I came on stage right at the end of everything, and all these other great artists. And I had rehearsed with the band at 7 o'clock, and it was so great. But that was really came from meeting him at the table and getting to know him. And he's amazing. And this is a small detail, and I brought it up to him. He produced "Just for You" for REO Speedwagon, which I wrote with Kevin, and it's a masterpiece. The string arrangement. If anybody wants to look that up, "Just for You" REO.
And that's actually a thing I hadn't been thinking about. It's also a chance for you guys to meet because, for the most part, all musicians have their own heroes
Right.
that inspired them or people that they've always wanted to meet or talk with. And it's a chance for you guys to meet other musicians that you wouldn't normally get a chance to meet.
That's part of the fun.
Yep. And okay, so I found on the January cruise, the Concerts at Sea cruise, it's going to be the Ides of March and other artists. Now, this one is more 60s. So we've got Chubby Checker and Gary Lewis and the Playboys, the Platters, and a lot more of music from that era. So, and you and I have met Chubby Checker. He
Sure.
was at one of the Jam for Jimmy shows down in Memphis.
Super talent. He's not just let's twist again like we did last summer. He's that, but he's also a great personality and a great singer.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, I think they may be both sold out, but if you check either Jim's or the Ides Facebook pages or websites, there's links to them, and you can check and see if there's any last minute cabins available. But it is going to be a blast, and I wish I was going with cruising is my wife and I our favorite kind of vacation, and but like I said, there is no sleeping, so
You're
but
right.
yeah. All right, now let's talk about the current project you've got going. There's another world stage album in the works called The Power of Two, which is all duets, you and other artists. So how is that going along?
Well, it's going to be a great album. Larry and I flew out to LA. We're working with Ron Nevison, the great producer who did, the Babies, Led Zeppelin, nobody big, Bad Company,
Survivor.
Survivor. Yeah, there's those guys. Yeah. So he's amazing. He's 79 and as fit and sharp as he's ever been
Yeah.
behind the board. And great. And Larry, of course, is a great engineer. And we cut 13 tracks there. And you know what? It'll probably be out in May.
Okay.
That's my projection for that. And the latest artist that joined on to co-sing with me on a new song, Jason Sheff. He was with Chicago for 20 years. I didn't know he was with the band for that long.
Yeah.
And now he's doing projects with a lot of people. He has 4 different projects going. And I love working with him. He's always ready to go. And we just finished really a good song called The Cadence of Things that to me, it sounds like an opening track to this duets album.
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool that you're working with Nevison because he's, yeah, like you said, a legend. Go to Wikipedia, look up his credits.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah,
Yeah, he's amazing. I remember, he did the first Survivor album, one with I guess it's Kim Basinger on the cover and us,
yeah,
the smoking wreck of a plane. But he got fired by John Kalodner, long story, and I ended up mixing it with Bruce Fairbairn. But then we hooked up back with him after the Eye of the Tiger album, which Frankie and I produced for Vital Signs and When Seconds Count, and the magic was back.
yeah. Great. I cannot wait to hear it.
Yeah,
So, yep.
master.
All right. And the next big thing coming up is you and Toby are going to hop in a plane and you're going to head off to Milan to be part of Frontiers Fest.
You know, I love it, man. Toby Hitchcock is, I hate to say it like this, but when Jimmy Jameson passed, I needed another voice that was going to inspire the kind of writing that I did for Jimmy, and Toby's that voice. And we did our first record in '02. I mean, '03. And this is like our seventh album, and we're going strong. So yeah, we'll be out there. We're playing with a band from Italy. They always put together great musicians that are fanatical about getting it right off the record. So we're going to be in good hands.
Yeah, that's always a good time. And, Italy's a fun place to visit. I remember, I think the first time I ever was in the studio, you and Larry had invited me to come up, and you were mixing one of the early tracks from the first Pride of Lions album, and I heard that voice coming over the speakers. I'm like, who is that? And you said, hey, he's the kid from where you grew up or from where you're from. And I'm like, oh, so that was
Well,
my first hearing Toby sing was there. It's like, wow.
yeah, it's funny because we Ron discovered a song. Well, he was going through the things he produced for us, and he was just randomly listening, and he goes, "Oh my God!" In good faith, Jimmy, of course, sang the hell out of it, but he said we've got to recut this for the new Power of Two album. So we cut it, and Toby did the Jimmy parts, and I sang it with him, and it's just absolutely incredible. And I'm glad In Good Faith is getting a second chance because that's a great song.
It is. All right. That's it for all the news and the happenings. So we just like to we've got a little music coming up here. We just like to wish all of you Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, and uh, and just enjoy family and relax a little bit and play some Ides of March Christmas music.
Sure will. This is one that I wrote with uh, Scott May, man, 15 years ago. And it still resonates. And now it's like a classic when people come to this show, they wait for this and sing along. So I'm going to do a verse and a chorus of Sharing Christmas. We would love to share Christmas with you. The silent night as you by, Jesus, reach out your breath up to the sky. Where there's love, there's a reason. Sing for the children, innocent few, and let the big spirit traveling, carrying tears, to remember them all. Sweet as that girl sharing twist. Open your hearts on this day, letting your love light the way. Letting your love light the way.
Thank you, Jim. You and Karen have a Merry Christmas. Say hi to the family and everybody else. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
Great God in heaven, you know I love you.